Ocho, according to a recent Athletic article, Deshaun Watson was a negative presence and couldn't be held accountable. These are the most damning excerpts. Coach Stefanski, I think he's a two-time NFL Coach of the Year, showed Watson clips from the offense during their meeting in March of 22, demonstrating how Watson could thrive in a wide zone play-action scheme crafted by Gary Kubiak and Mike Shanahan. But after he arrived in Cleveland, Watson never embraced Stefanski's system. He wanted to be in shotgun, and Stefanski wanted him under center play action, a more effective component. According to multiple players, those mistakes weren't pointed out in film session, frustrating at least a few veterans who believe Stefanski wouldn't criticize Watson in front of the team. When Jameis Winston placed Watson after he tore his Achilles, players said Stefanski returned to pointing out the quarterback's mistake in film session. Players told me there was a constant heaviness surrounding Watson in the locker room, and they felt different energy in the building departure after his Achilles injury in October. A couple of veterans told me it felt like a cloud had been lifted. For 3 years, the Browns consorted themselves to match Watson's strength and desires, but teammates ultimately grew tired of the organization catering to his ineffective quarterback and never really fit in Cleveland. He received at least one death threat.
Can I ask you a question? All this time, why all this coming out now? Just curious.
But here's the thing, Ocho. You asked a question. Remember you asked this question? You say, why everybody else look effective in the offense other than Deshaun? Look at the offense they ran with the other guys and look at the offense they ran with Deshaun. You should have had your answer. As I'm reading this, you should have had the answer to the question that you were asking.
Right.
Other guys were receptive of the type of offense that was going to be run. One guy wanted to run a specific type of an offense that he was so comfortable with in Houston. Now, for me, I'm a firm believer, Ocho. If you get a guy in free agency, you probably should do what he did where he was in order to get the max out of him.
Exactly.
But the problem is that that's not what I teach. I can't teach you a subject that I don't know.
Deshaun Watson, the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, has been at the center of a storm of controversy and public scrutiny, especially after recent damning revelations in a report by The Athletic. According to Shannon Sharpe and many in the media, it may be time for Watson to seriously consider retiring from the game of football. The report, which details further allegations and troubling behavior, has reignited a firestorm of criticism around Watson, who has already faced numerous accusations of misconduct. Watson's legal battles, which led to a significant suspension by the NFL, have not only impacted his career but have also severely tarnished his reputation. The Athletic's latest expose sheds light on a pattern of actions that continue to paint him in a deeply negative light, leading many, including Sharpe, to question whether Watson should continue to play at all. Shannon Sharpe, a former NFL star and prominent sports analyst, made a strong statement, urging Watson to walk away from the game. Sharpe believes that continuing to pursue a football career at this point would only add to the negative headlines and further damage his legacy. Sharpe argues that football may no longer be worth the public and personal toll it's taking on Watson, suggesting that it might be best for him to retire and focus on rebuilding his life outside of the sport. The media, across various platforms, has also echoed similar sentiments, calling Watson's actions into question while scrutinizing the NFL's handling of his case. With the league's image increasingly on the line due to the handling of player misconduct, many believe that Watson's return to the field sends the wrong message to both fans and future generations of athletes. Critics argue that Watson's return to football could be seen as a troubling endorsement of his behavior, as it would overshadow any on-field success he might have and divert attention away from the seriousness of the allegations against him. With each passing day, his off-field issues seem to overshadow his performances on the field, which, despite showing glimpses of his former talent, have been inconsistent and overshadowed by the controversy. In light of these ongoing issues, the question remains, should Deshaun Watson retire to protect his own future and avoid further scandal, or should he continue to fight to restore his career? While Watson's talent is undeniable, the growing criticism from figures like Sharpe and the media suggests that his future in the NFL could be in jeopardy. It's a moment of reckoning for Watson, and how he chooses to respond to these latest revelations could shape the rest of his career and his life moving forward.